The Vorax fleet was running. What remained of their once mighty armada fled toward the outer solar system. Earth's ships could catch them easily. They could destroy every last Vorax vessel. Admiral Gunn stood before the Defense Council in the Emergency Command Center beneath the Atlantic Ocean. Maps and battle plans covered the walls. The faces around the table were tired but hopeful. "We have won the battle for Earth," said Admiral Yun. "Now we must decide what to do with that victory." Displays showed the retreating Vorax ships. Earth vessels followed them, weapons ready. "The choice is simple," said General Wu, his face hard with anger. "We finish them. Every last ship. Every last Vorax." Many heads nodded in agreement. "They would do the same to us," said a woman from the African Union. "They have done the same to 17 other worlds." Admiral Ullman looked around the room. "Yes, they would. But the question before us is not what they would do. It is what we should do." The room grew quiet. "We can destroy them completely," continued Admiral Yun. "We have the power to end the Vorax threat forever. The question is, should we?" Dr. Min stood up. She was an old woman who had spent her life studying ethics and moral questions. "If we kill them all," she said softly, "we become like them. The Vorax belief power means the right to destroy. If we destroy them because we can, we prove them right." General Wu slammed his fist on the table. "They are monsters. You saw what they did to our people." "Yes," agreed Dr. Min. "They are cruel. But if we answer cruelty with cruelty, where does it end?" Captain Hyun, who had been silent until now, rose from his seat. His uniform was torn and dirty. His eyes were red from tears for June and his lost crew. "I lost my ship," he said. His voice was rough with emotion. "I lost my best friend. I lost good men and women today. Everyone waited for him to call for revenge. But Jum didn't die so we could become killers," continued Hyun. "He died protecting our world, our values." He looked at the display showing the Vorax ships. "I say we kill them once. Clean, quick, merciful. Not like they would do to us or anyone else. We end the military threat. We destroy their weapons and warships. But we don't hunt down every Vorax just because we can." The room was very quiet. Admiral Hyun nodded slowly. "Captain Hyun is right. We are not like them. We kill when we must, not for pleasure or revenge." She turned to the council. "I propose the Mercy Protocol. We will pursue and destroy all Vorax military vessels and weapons. But their civilian ships, their non-combatants, will be allowed to live under strict rules and watching." "And if they rebuild? If they come back?" asked General Wu. "Then we will be ready," said Admiral Yun, "and they will know what waits for them." The council voted. It was not unanimous this time, but the majority agreed. The Mercy Protocol would be Earth's answer to the Vorax. Admiral Yun sent the new orders to Earth's fleet. "Destroy all Vorax warships. Disable but do not destroy their civilian vessels. We are not conquerors. We are guardians." In his damaged escape pod, now aboard a rescue ship, Captain Hyun watched the data coming in. Earth ships were moving faster than the Vorax, cutting off their escape routes. The battle would soon be over. He thought of June, of his sacrifice. "We're doing it right," he whispered. "We're being better than them." On the main Vorax ship, a new war master named Draz could not understand the human strategy. When the Vorax captured enemies, they tortured them slowly for years. When they conquered a planet, they deliberately left survivors to suffer as slaves. "What are these humans doing?" he asked his sub-commander. "They could destroy us all. Why do they hold back?" The sub-commander had no answer. The concept of mercy was foreign to the Vorax mind. The idea of a clean death as an act of compassion made no sense to them. It would be a lesson they were about to learn. War Master Krull paced the bridge of his command ship. 3 days had passed since the defeat at Mars. Half his fleet was gone. The humans had tricked him, and he hated them for it. "Bring in the prisoners," he ordered. 2 Vorax guards dragged in 5 human captives. They had been crew members on a supply ship that was caught near Jupiter. They looked weak and scared. "Begin the broadcast," said Krall. "Make sure it reaches all Earth stations." A red light blinked on, showing that they were now sending live video to Earth. Krall grabbed one of the humans, a young man. "People of Earth," Krall's voice boomed. "See the price of your resistance." What happened next made even some of the Vorax soldiers look away. The screams of the human echoed through the ship. When it was done, Krall faced the camera again. "I have taken 20 of your kind prisoner. Each day you resist, they will suffer. I also have this." He held up a small metal cylinder. "A bioweapon. It will kill millions in your major cities. Surrender now, or I release it in 3 Earth days." The transmission ended. On Earth, in a secure lab under the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Todd worked without rest. He had been studying Vorax biology since they captured a damaged alien ship at Mars. "Look at this," he said to his assistant. He pointed to a scan of a Vorax brain. "Their neural system is different from ours. They process signals through these nodes." His assistant leaned closer. "What does that mean?" Dr. Todd smiled for the first time in days. "It means they have a weakness. Their brains are very sensitive to certain electromagnetic frequencies. The right signal could disable them without killing them." "How long to build something that can use this?" Dr. Todd looked at his notes. 2 days, maybe less. Captain Hyun sat in a small, stealth ship just outside the sensor range of the Vorax command vessel. With him were 30 of Earth's best soldiers, including his friend Major Kwan. "The prisoners are being held in the lower section," said Kwan, looking at a scan of the alien ship. "Security will be heavy." Hyun nodded. "We go in fast and quiet. Use the new EM weapons Dr. Ta sent us. They should stun the Vorax without killing them." "Why not kill them?" asked one of the soldiers. "After what they did to our people." "Because we're better than them," said Hyun firmly. "We kill when we must, not for pleasure." They waited until the Vorax ship turned, putting its blind spot toward them. Then they launched. The small Earth ship attached to the hull of the massive alien vessel like a tick on a dog. Using laser cutters, they made an entrance and slipped inside. The new weapons worked perfectly. When fired, they emitted a specific frequency that made the Vorax collapse, stunned but alive. The team moved through the ship with speed and precision. When they reached the prison section, they found the human captives in terrible condition. "Get them to the ship," ordered Hyun. "Kwan, plant the charges." As they carried the prisoners back to their entry point, one of the captives, a woman named Yun, grabbed Hyun's arm. "They're not just conquerors," she said, her voice weak. "It's their religion. They believe suffering makes the universe stronger. They think pain is good." Hyun helped her along. "Save your strength. You're safe now." Once all the prisoners and soldiers were back on their ship, Hyun gave the signal. The charges detonated, but they weren't designed to destroy the Vorax vessel. Instead, they released Dr. Tay's electromagnetic pulse throughout the ship, stunning every Vorax aboard. As they pulled away, Hyun sent a message to the now helpless Vorax ship. "War Master Krall, your prisoners are free. Your bioweapon has been taken. We could have killed everyone on your ship, but we chose not to. Remember that." The small Earth ship vanished into the darkness of space, leaving behind a Vorax crew that could not understand why they were still alive. Captain Hyun sat in his command chair on the bridge of the EDF Dauntless. His eyes were fixed on the main screen. The calm of space was about to end. "Captain, urgent message from Outpost 7, said Officer Han, her voice tight with worry. Hyun nodded. "Put it through." The face of Commander Lee appeared on screen. His face was pale. "Captain Hyun, our deep space sensors have picked up something big. Very big. A fleet of ships just entered our solar system. They're not ours." Hyun felt his mouth go dry. After years of watching the stars, it had finally happened. How many? At least 50 large vessels, sir. Bigger than anything we have. They're moving fast toward Mars. Hyun turned to his first officer. June, alert Admiral Hyun. Tell her first contact protocols are now active. June moved quickly to his station. Yes, sir. The bridge fell silent. Humans had wondered for centuries if they were alone in the universe. Now they had their answer. Sir, said Han, we're getting a transmission from the alien fleet. Hyun straightened his uniform. On screen, the image that appeared made several bridge officers gasp. The alien was tall with gray skin and 4 yellow eyes. Bony plates covered its head, and its mouth was filled with sharp teeth. People of Earth, it said in perfect English, I am War Master Krull of the Vorax Empire. Your world now belongs to us. You have 2 choices, serve us or die. You have 1 Earth day to decide. Hyun kept his face calm despite the fear in his gut. This is Captain Hyun of the Earth Defense Fleet. We welcome peaceful contact with other worlds, but we will defend ourselves if threatened. War Master Krull made a sound like stones grinding together. It took Hyun a moment to realize it was laughter. Defend yourselves. With what? Our scans show your weapons are primitive. We have conquered 17 worlds before yours. Some fought. Some surrendered. All serve us now. The alien leaned closer to the screen. Half of your population will die as an example to the rest. This is mercy by our standards. The screen went black. Hyun turned to June. Get me Admiral Hyun now. 2 hours later, Hyun stood in the Earth Defense Council chamber. The room was filled with military leaders and government officials from around the world. Their faces showed fear, anger, and determination. Admiral Hyun, a short woman with steel-gray hair, took her place at the head of the table. The Vorax fleet has taken position near Mars, she said. Our colony there has gone silent. A man in a business suit stood up. We should try to talk to them. Maybe they can be reasoned with. They've made their position clear, said Hyun. They want us to surrender or die. Admiral Hyun nodded. Captain Hyun is right. The Vorax are conquerors. Based on their message and our scans of their fleet, they won't stop until they've broken us. Then what can we do? Asked a woman in a military uniform. If their technology is as advanced as they claim, it may not matter, said Admiral Hyun. She pressed a button, and the lights dimmed. A hologram appeared showing a weapon system unlike anything Hyun had seen before. For 50 years, we've been preparing for this day, said the Admiral. Project Guardian was started when we first began serious deep space scanning. We knew someone would come eventually. Hyun stared at the hologram. What am I looking at? Quantum phase shields. Energy weapons that bypass conventional defenses. Engines that can outrun anything we've detected from the Vorax fleet. Admiral Hyun's face hardened. We've kept these advances secret, developing them in bases beneath the lunar surface. June whispered, we have a chance. Admiral Hyun nodded. More than a chance. The Vorax think we're defenseless. That will be their first mistake. She turned to Hyun. Captain, prepare your crew. The battle for Mars begins tomorrow. As the meeting broke up, Hyun felt the weight of what was coming. Humanity's first contact with alien life would be war. But the aliens had made their choice. Now Earth would make theirs. Space around Earth lit up with fire. The Vorax had brought every ship they had left, nearly 100 vessels of all sizes. They attacked Earth's orbital defenses with everything they had. Captain Hyun's flagship, the EDF Resilience, shook as enemy fire hit its shields. Shields at 60%. Called out Officer Han. We can't take much more of this. Hyun looked at the battle map. 5 Earth ships were already gone. The Vorax were pushing forward, trying to break through to the planet below. Hold position, said Hyun. We need to protect the orbital cannons until they're ready. Earth had one last secret weapon. Massive energy cannons hidden in orbit, powered by the sun itself. They needed 10 more minutes to charge. First Officer Jun moved to Hyun's side. Sir, 3 Vorax heavy cruisers are heading for Defense Station 4. If they destroy it, they'll open a path straight to North America. Hyun checked his display. Jun was right. No ships were close enough to stop them except the Resilience. Change course, ordered Hyun. Put us between those cruisers and the station. The Resilience turned, engines burning hot as it raced to cut off the Vorax ships. It was 1 ship against 3, each bigger than the Resilience. Divert all power to forward shields, said Hyun. We just need to hold them for 7 more minutes. The Vorax ships fired, their energy weapons hammering the Resilience. The ship shook violently. Shields failing, shouted Han. Hull breach on decks 5 through 8. Hyun gripped his chair as the ship rocked again. Evacuate those decks. Hold position. Jun looked at the damage reports and then at Hyun. A silent understanding passed between them. Sir, said Jun quietly, the Resilience won't last 7 minutes. Hyun knew he was right. Then an idea came to him. A terrible idea. If we can't stop them with our shields, he said, we'll stop them with our ship. Jun's eyes widened. You mean ram them? Sir, that's suicide. Not for all of us, said Hyun. Order the crew to the escape pods. You'll lead them. And you, sir? Someone needs to steer the ship. Jun shook his head. No, sir. I can't let you do that. The ship rocked again as another hit landed. Alarms blared across the bridge. That's an order, First Officer, said Hyun firmly. Jun stood straight. With respect, sir, I'm refusing that order. Before Hyun could respond, Jun nodded to 2 security officers. They grabbed Hyun. What are you doing? Demanded Hyun. Earth needs leaders more than martyrs, said Jun. He nodded to the security officers. Get the captain to escape pod 1. Jun, don't do this, shouted Hyun as they dragged him off the bridge. Jun turned to the helm. Clear the ship. All hands to escape pods. I'm setting a collision course. The Resilience turned, its engines pushing to full power as it aimed directly at the Lid Vorax ship. The escape pods launched, carrying the crew to safety. All except Jun. From his escape pod, Hyun watched in horror as the Resilience crashed into the Vorax command ship at full speed. The explosion was blinding. When it cleared, both ships were gone. The explosion had caught 2 other Vorax ships, destroying one and crippling another. Jun, whispered Hyun, his eyes wet with tears. His pod's radio crackled. Captain Hyun, this is Defense Station 4. The orbital cannons are ready to fire. Your first officer bought us the time we needed. Hyun took a deep breath. Fire the cannons. Target the Vorax flagship. Take out their command structure. Massive beams of energy shot out from Earth's hidden orbital weapons. They cut through the Vorax ships like knives through paper. Without their central command, the Vorax fleet fell into chaos. Earth ships pressed forward, using Dr. Tay's discovery to disable the Vorax neural systems. For the first time in their history, the Vorax faced not just defeat, but complete destruction. As rescue ships picked up the escape pods, Hyun stared out at the battle. The tide had turned. Earth was winning. But the cost had been high. Too high. Your sacrifice won't be forgotten, Jun, he promised quietly. And it won't be wasted. 1 year after the Vorax invasion of Earth, the Great Meeting Hall of the United Nations in New York was filled with beings from 23 different worlds. Some floated in special tanks. Others needed breathing masks. Some had many limbs, others none at all. Despite their differences, they had come together for one historic purpose. Admiral Hyun, promoted after the war, stood at the front of the room. Beside him was Admiral Eun, now older but still commanding respect with her presence. On his other side stood representatives from the 17 worlds the Vorax had conquered, now free with Earth's help. Today, said Admiral Eun, her voice carried by translators to all present, we signed the Galactic Compact. A set of rules that all our worlds agree to follow. a promise of peace and cooperation. The first to sign was Xathi, the insect-like being who had told Hyun about the Vorax atrocities. "My people were slaves for 300 years, it said. Now we rebuild, thanks to Earth." One by one, representatives from each world signed the document. Some used hands, others tentacles or claws. Some pressed thumbs into special ink, but all agreed to the same principles. Most surprising to many was the presence of a group of Vorax. They looked different from the warriors Earth had fought. Smaller, with lighter skin, and only 2 eyes instead of 4. Their leader, called Rel, approached the document last. "We are not warriors," she explained. "We are scholars, workers, caregivers. For too long, our species was ruled by the war caste, who twisted our old beliefs into cruelty. With their power broken, we choose a new path." Not everyone had been happy to include the Vorax in the compact. Many of the freed species wanted revenge. But Earth had insisted. "Mercy is not just for friends," Ambassador Kang had said. "It's for enemies too. Especially for enemies." After the signing, Admiral Hyun stood on the observation deck of the new space station named Harmony. It floated above Earth, built with technology shared by all member worlds of the compact. From here, ships would travel to distant stars, not to conquer but to connect. Rel, the Vorax representative, joined him. Her people were still viewed with suspicion by many, but Earth had given them a chance to be more than their past. "My people still don't understand," said Rel quietly. "You could have tortured us for generations as we did to others. You could have enslaved us, made us suffer. Your mercy feels like weakness to many Vorax." "That's because they don't understand power," replied Hyun. "True power isn't about how much suffering you can inflict. It's about how much suffering you can prevent." They looked out at the assembled fleet of ships from 24 worlds, preparing for a mission to free the remaining enslaved peoples on distant Vorax colonies. "The galaxy is learning what the Vorax never understood," said Hyun. "Earth's mercy means we only kill you once, but our protection lasts forever." Rel turned her 2 eyes to Hyun. "I have studied your history. Your people were not always merciful. You had wars, cruelty, torture. What changed?" Hyun thought for a moment. "We grew up. We learned that lasting power comes from building, not destroying. From healing, not hurting." He smiled slightly. "We're still learning, but we're trying to be better than our past." "As are we," said Rel. "Thanks to your strange mercy." On a screen nearby, they could see the text of the first principle of the Galactic Compact, now known across many worlds as Earth's mercy. "No thinking being shall be subjected to torture, endless suffering, or punishment across generations. Justice shall be fair and quick. Second chances shall be offered to those who seek them. Cruelty has no place among civilized worlds." As ships from 23 worlds prepared to depart, carrying this message to stars humans had only dreamed of visiting, Hyun thought of June and all those who had died so this day could come. "We did it," he whispered. "We were better than them. And now we're building something better together." The stars beckoned, no longer a place of fear, but of hope. And Earth led the way, not through conquest, but through the strength of its principles and its willingness to defend them. 3 months after the Battle of Earth, Captain Hyun stood on the bridge of his new ship, the Harmony. It was not a warship but a diplomatic vessel, large and well-equipped for first contact missions. The Mercy Protocol had worked. Most Vorax military ships were now destroyed. The civilian ships were gathered in a monitored zone near Titan. "Captain," said his new first officer, a woman named Mina, "we're receiving a strange signal from one of the larger Vorax civilian ships." "What kind of signal?" asked Hyun. It's not Vorax. The language pattern is completely different." Hyun frowned. "Put it on speaker." A voice came through, weak and afraid. The words were strange, but the translation software quickly adapted. "Help us, prisoners, 17 worlds. Please." Hyun's eyes widened. "Prepare a boarding team." full security measures. 2 hours later, Hyun led a team onto the largest Vorax civilian ship. What they found shocked even the most hardened soldiers. The ship wasn't just carrying Vorax civilians. It held hundreds of aliens from different species. They were kept in terrible conditions, chained and caged like animals. "They're trophies," said Mina, her voice shaking with anger. Living trophies from the worlds the Vorax conquered. Hyun approached a thin, blue-skinned alien who had sent the signal. "You're safe now. We're here to help." The alien looked at Hyun with 3 large eyes. "You defeated the Vorax. How is this possible? They were unstoppable for centuries." "Not anymore," said Hyun. "We're freeing everyone on this ship." As the Earth team moved through the ship, they found representatives from all 17 worlds the Vorax had conquered. Some had been prisoners for generations, born in captivity. Others remembered their homeworlds before they fell. The medical team from the Harmony treated the worst cases. Hyun ordered food and clean water for everyone. The Vorax crew were confined to quarters, under guard. One prisoner, a tall insect-like being called Xathi, told Hyun the full story of the Vorax conquests. "They kept us alive to suffer," said Xathi. "Some were bred as slaves, others as food, some just as examples of Vorax power." "How many of your people survived?" asked Hyun. "On my world, perhaps 1 in 10. The Vorax believe that pain feeds their god. They keep just enough alive to continue the suffering." Hyun felt sick. "Are there more of your people on other Vorax ships, or on their homeworld?" "Yes, millions enslaved across their empire. My world was one of the first they conquered 300 years ago." Later, on the Harmony, Hyun called a meeting with Ambassador Kang, who had been sent from Earth to handle diplomatic relations. "We need to contact these worlds," said Hyun. "They need to know the Vorax can be defeated." Ambassador Kang nodded. "I've already sent a message to Earth." The Council agrees. "We're preparing a mission to contact the 17 worlds." "And the Vorax homeworld?" asked Hyun. "That's more complicated. We don't want to start a full-scale war across the galaxy. For now, we focus on helping the victims." In the days that followed, more representatives from the conquered species were brought to the Harmony. They came from worlds with names humans could barely pronounce. They had different bodies, different ways of thinking. But they all shared one thing. They had suffered under the Vorax. One day, a small green alien with 4 arms approached Hyun. "We have watched you," it said through the translator. "You treat the Vorax prisoners well. You feed them. You do not hurt them. Why?" "That's not how we do things," said Hyun. "We don't torture prisoners. But after what they did to us, to you, don't you want revenge?" Hyun thought of June, of all the people who had died. "Yes," he admitted, "part of me does. But then we'd be no better than them." The alien seemed confused. "You kill your enemies when you must, but you don't torture them. You are strange creatures." Ambassador Kang, who had been listening, stepped forward. "That's not weakness," she said gently. "That's civilization. We believe mercy isn't softness, it's strength. It shows we remain in control of ourselves, even when facing monsters." The green alien looked at Kang for a long time. Then it bowed all 4 of its arms. "My world needs this lesson. We have known only Vorax cruelty for generations. Will you help us be free?" "Yes," said Hyun and Kang together. "That's why we're here." The great meeting hall of Luna Base was filled with noise. 200 people sat around a large circular table. They came from every nation on Earth. Some wore military uniforms. Others wore business suits or simple clothes that showed their culture. All had worried faces. Admiral Eun stood at the center. The room grew quiet as she raised her hand. "The United Defense Council is now in session," she said. "We are here to decide how Earth will respond to the Vorax threat." A man in a blue suit stood up. "We should try to talk to them. Find a peaceful solution." "Talk," said a woman in a military uniform. "They torture our people. They threatened us with a bioweapon. More voices joined in. Some wanted peace, others wanted war. The noise grew until Admiral Yun had to bang on the table for quiet. "I have studied the Vorax transmissions," she said. "They see mercy as weakness. They have conquered 17 worlds before ours. Do you think we are the first to ask for peace?" The room fell silent. "Let me ask you this," said Admiral Yun. Her voice was calm but strong. "What happens to the next world if we surrender?" No one had an answer. A young man stood up. It was Jin, a diplomat who had worked with alien cultures that Earth had peaceful contact with before the Vorax came. "May I speak?" he asked. Admiral Yun nodded. Jin walked to the center of the room. He was not tall, but something about him made everyone listen. "I have studied the records we took from the Vorax ship," he said. "I have seen what they did to the 17 worlds they conquered." He pressed a button, and images appeared in the air above the table. They showed planets with burning cities, alien people in chains, torture chambers. "The Vorax do not conquer for land or resources," said Jin. "They conquer because they believe suffering is good for the universe. Their god is pain. They worship by hurting others." He turned slowly, looking at each person in the room. "If we surrender, we doom not just ourselves, but any world they find after us. We have a duty not just to Earth, but to all life that wants to live in peace." Jin's voice grew stronger. "We must fight, not just for our survival, but for justice in the stars. We must stand against the Vorax not because we hate them, but because we love life more than they love death." The room was completely silent when he finished. Then someone began to clap. Others joined in. Soon, the whole room was on their feet. Admiral Yun waited for the noise to die down. "We will vote now. Do we fight or surrender?" The vote was unanimous. Earth would fight. "Then it is decided," said Admiral Yun. "We will send a message to the Vorax. Not a surrender, but an ultimatum of our own." 20 minutes later, the message was ready. It was short but clear. "To War Master Krull and all Vorax forces, you have brought war to a peaceful solar system. You have killed innocent people. You have threatened our world with destruction. We give you one chance. Leave Earth space completely. Never return. If you stay, we will destroy every Vorax ship and soldier. This is not a negotiation. You have 24 hours to begin your retreat." The message was sent on all frequencies. When War Master Krull heard it, he could not believe what he was hearing. No species had ever threatened the Vorax with extinction. He called his generals together. "The humans have gone mad," he said. "They think they can destroy us. We will show them what real power is. Prepare all ships. We attack Earth directly. No more games. No more mercy." On Luna Base, Admiral Yun turned to Captain Hyun. "They won't retreat. You know that." Hyun nodded. "No, they won't. But now we can fight without regret. We gave them a chance." "Prepare your fleet, Captain," said Admiral Yun. "The real war begins now." Commander Suk stood on the bridge of the EDF Vigilant, watching as her small fleet of 7 ships took position behind Phobos, one of Mars' moons. Her hands were steady, but her heart raced. 20,000 civilians lived in the Mars colony. Their lives depended on what happened in the next few hours. "Vorax fleet approaching, Commander," said Officer Park. 53 ships. They're broadcasting on all channels. Suk nodded. "Let's hear what they have to say." The harsh voice of War Master Krull filled the bridge. "People of Mars, your defenses are weak. Surrender now and only half of you will die. Resist and all will suffer." The message repeated in several languages. Suk turned to her weapons officer. "Are the quantum shields ready?" "Yes, Commander. But they don't know that." Suk smiled. "Good. Let's keep it that way. Tell all ships to look weak. Defensive positions only. Make them think we're scared." The Vorax ships moved closer to Mars, their massive hulls gleaming in the sunlight. Without warning, they fired on the Phobos colony. Officer Park gasped. They're targeting civilians. Sook gripped her chair. Stay in position. We need more of their fleet to enter the trap. On the screen, buildings on Phobos exploded. Emergency signals flooded the communications system. Commander, said Officer Park, his voice shaking, we need to help them. Not yet, said Sook. Her face was like stone, but her eyes showed her pain. If we move now, we lose everyone. The Voraks continued their attack, destroying habitat domes and power stations. Then their main fleet began to move forward. They think we're beaten, said Sook. War Master Krull is bringing in the rest of his ships. She watched as 40 more Voraks vessels moved into position around Mars. Now, asked her weapons officer. Sook checked her display. Not yet. We need their command ship. Minutes passed. More distress calls came in from Mars. Then a massive ship, twice the size of the others, moved into orbit. That's Krull's command ship, said Sook. Now, she pressed a button on her chair. All ships, activate quantum shields. Defense grid online. Around Mars, hidden satellites that had looked like ordinary space debris suddenly lit up. A web of energy surrounded the planet. Fire phase cannons. Target their weapons systems first. The Earth ships emerged from behind Phobos, weapons blazing. The Vorak ships, caught by surprise, tried to return fire, but their energy weapons were absorbed by the quantum shields. War Master Krull's voice roared over the comm. What is this? Your weapons cannot be this advanced. Sook didn't respond. Her ships moved in perfect formation, cutting through the Voraks fleet. The energy grid around Mars pulsed, redirecting the aliens' own weapon energy back at them. 20 Vorak ships exploded in the first wave. Another 15 lost power and drifted helplessly in space. Commander, said Officer Park, we've disabled half their fleet. Sook nodded. Begin rescue operations for Phobos. Get those civilians to safety. On the main screen, the face of War Master Krull appeared. His yellow eyes blazed with fury. This is impossible. Your kind are primitives. You made a mistake, War Master, said Sook calmly. You judged us by our past. You should have looked harder at our present. This changes nothing, hissed Krull. I have more ships. I will turn your world to ash. The connection cut off. The remaining Vorak ships began to retreat, moving back toward the outer solar system. Sook turned to her communications officer. Send word to Earth. Tell them we've won the first battle, but the war has just begun. As rescue ships raced toward Phobos, Sook looked at the damage reports. 2,000 colonists dead, many more injured. The price of victory had been high. In the darkness of his command ship, War Master Krull seethed with rage. These humans will make worthy trophies, he told his generals. Their skulls will adorn my chamber. Prepare our remaining forces. Earth will burn for this humiliation. Captain Dew stood on the bridge of the EDF Swift Justice. It was the fastest ship Earth had ever built. Its job was simple: hunt down the remaining Voraks warships. We have a signal, said Officer Ba. 3 Vorak ships hiding in the rings of Saturn. Dew nodded. She was young for a captain, but her skill in space combat was unmatched. Are they military or civilian? Ba checked the scans. 2 military, 1 civilian transport. Send the standard message, ordered Dew. The communications officer spoke clearly. Voraks vessels. This is Captain Dew of the Earth Defense Fleet. By order of the Earth Defense Council, all military vessels must surrender immediately or be destroyed. Civilian vessels will not be harmed if they comply with our directions. The response came quickly. Human dogs. We will never surrender. The Voraks Empire does not bow to lesser beings. Dew sighed. It was always the same answer. Target the 2 military vessels. Disable their engines first, then weapons. The Swift Justice moved with incredible speed, darting between the ice and rock of Saturn's rings. Its weapons fired with perfect accuracy. In less than 5 minutes, both Vorax warships were dead in space, their engines and weapons destroyed. "They're sending escape pods to the civilian ship," reported Ba. "Let them go," said Du. "Then target the military ship's power cores. Clean kills only." 2 more shots, and the Vorax warships exploded into clouds of debris. The civilian transport tried to run, but the swift Justice easily caught up. "Vorax transport," said Du over the comm. "Your military escort is gone. You will follow us to the designated safe zone near Titan. Any attempt to flee or fight will result in your immediate destruction. Do you understand?" There was a long pause before the Vorax captain responded. "We understand. We will comply." As the swift Justice escorted the transport, Du thought about how strange this all was. For weeks now, she had been hunting Vorax ships throughout the solar system. Following the Mercy Protocol was simple. Military ships that fought were destroyed quickly and cleanly. Civilian ships were spared and directed to safe zones. But the Vorax couldn't understand it. When they captured prisoners, they tortured them slowly, making the pain last as long as possible. When they conquered planets, they deliberately left survivors to suffer as slaves for generations. Du's communications officer interrupted her thoughts. "Captain, we're getting a signal from Admiral Hyun. 5 Vorax warships have been detected near Jupiter. Captain Hyun is engaging them, but he requests backup." "Set course immediately," ordered Du. "Maximum speed." Near Jupiter, Captain Hyun faced a difficult situation. His new ship, the EDF Memory of June, was surrounded by 5 Vorax ships. They were cornered against one of Jupiter's moons with nowhere to run. "Vorax vessels," said Hyun over the open channel. "This is your final warning. Surrender now or be destroyed." The Vorax commander's face appeared on screen. His 4 yellow eyes burned with hate. "We do not fear death, human, but we do not understand you. Why do you not torture our captured crews? Why do you kill so quickly? Where is the suffering you should inflict on us?" Hyun's face remained calm. "That's not how we do things. We don't enjoy pain like you do. When we must kill, we kill cleanly. One death, no more." The Vorax commander seemed genuinely confused. "But you have the power. You could make us suffer for years. It makes no sense." "It's called mercy," said Hyun simply. The Vorax ships started firing. Hyun's vessel took heavy damage, but held position. Just as things looked worst, the swift Justice appeared, weapons blazing. In the battle that followed, 4 Vorax ships were destroyed. 1 surrendered, the first military vessel to ever do so. As Hyun and Du secured the surrendered ship, the Vorax commander asked to speak with them. "I still do not understand," he said. "Our way is to cause pain, to make death slow. Your mercy, it seems like weakness to us." "Is that why you surrendered?" asked Du. "Because we're weak." The Vorax was silent for a long moment. "No, I surrendered because I realize something strange. Your mercy frightens me more than your weapons." Hyun and Du exchanged looks. The Vorax commander continued. "You kill without hate, without emotion, just, clean, like removing a disease. It is unsettling." As they led the prisoner away, Du turned to Hyun. "Do you think they'll ever understand?" Hyun shook his head. "Maybe not. But they're learning that Earth's mercy means we only kill you once, and sometimes that's more terrifying to them than a lifetime of torture."